Welcome, I'm Mike,
And I'm Rike.
and this is the Mike and Rike Show. So lately there's been a lot of talk about the college playoffs. Should there be 4 teams? Should there be more than 4? Or should there be no playoffs at all? How do you feel about this, Rike?
I like the way they did the 14 playoff. I don't like that they had to kick TCU out to put Ohio State in. But it seemed like it worked, considering Ohio State went all the way. But do I think the best 4 teams in college football were in there? No. Because I think Florida State wasn't really number 3. I think they were undefeated. I don't know how they got there. I don't think anybody does. I think TCU should have been in there. But,
I personally think there should be a 6 or an 8 team playoff. That way TCU and Baylor have their shot. They can get in there. TCU can upset something. You never know what's going to happen if you put them in there. Even this 8 team playoff, Mississippi State and Michigan State, you never know. Ohio State wasn't supposed to win this season. Look what they did. So you never know if you keep it, if you broaden, if you open it up, you never know who can come in. Just put in work.
I would agree more with the 8-team playoff. A 6-team playoff would leave a bye week for somebody, and I don't know how that would work in college football.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't work very well, and so an 8-team playoff would be the best, and that way you never know what can happen.
It'd be a Cinderella story somewhere.
Just like this season was.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the Mike and Rike Show. So, NBA season's almost halfway over now, and so it's time to start talking about the playoffs. So right now we're going to look at the current playoff picture, who's in, who's out, and who would win current games. Let's start off with the current games in the Eastern Conference.
We have number 1, the Atlanta Hawks playing number 18, Brooklyn Nets.
Now, you see, I think that'd be a good game because I think Brooklyn is better than the number 8 seed spot. I think Brooklyn will end up, by the end of the season, be the 5 spot probably, maybe the 4th. They've been playing really well lately. Mason Plumlee having a great season so far. He stepped up. Brook Lopez is still somewhat healthy at least. And as soon as Darren Williams gets back on the floor, Brooklyn will start shooting up in the standings.
See, I agree with that to a certain extent because Brooklyn is a better team when they're playing at the AC, but they're also injury prone. Everybody on their team is injury prone. Brook Lopez can't stay healthy for a whole season. Darren Williams hasn't stayed healthy. So I don't know how they're going to match up against the other healthy teams in the East.
And with the way Kyle Korver's been playing lately, and Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague, all of them, the whole Hawk squad is doing great. So it will definitely be a challenge, and I'm going to have to go with the Hawks winning.
I will also have to go with the Hawks winning.
All right, next up.
We have Washington against the Miami Heat.
Oh, well, not much to say about this, really. Heat lost LeBron. Dwayne Wade's getting old and full of injuries. I think it's obvious who's going to win.
I think it's pretty obvious. Washington's the better team.
I say Washington 4-1.
With John Wall playing the way he is, his all-star caliber level, easy 4-1.
Bradley Beal always knocking down threes. Everyone's healthy right now. It's
Paul
Washington
Pierce, his
usually.
age, his mentality, he's going to keep him going.
It's Washington easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next game.
We have Toronto against Cleveland.
Now, the way Cleveland's been playing lately hasn't been to the level of potential that before the season we thought they had. Right now, I would still give it to Toronto because of the way Kyle Lowry's been playing. And DeMar DeRozan's just came back. They're going to be a great team. And, I mean, I'll still make it about 4-3 because, it's still LeBron. He's still going to go out there and work hard. Him and Kyrie and Kevin Love, they're still going to work hard out there. And they're still going to give him a good game. But I got to give it to Toronto.
I don't know about that just right now because it's still halfway through. Cleveland still got time to develop as a team. Kyrie, Kevin Love, LeBron, they all got to figure out each other's skills, everything. They got to figure each other out, just like LeBron and Wade and Bosh had to figure each other out in Miami. So maybe by season's end, this will be one of the best teams in the East. They won't be number 6.
But as we're talking right now, who would win right now?
Right now, I still think I got to go with Cleveland.
I still got to go with Toronto. All right, next game.
I just think LeBron will step up. He would not let Toronto beat them.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Next up, we got Chicago against Milwaukee.
Now, Milwaukee has a pretty decent team this year, and they're getting better and better, which is great. They're improving, but I don't think they're quite ready to be a top playoff team until the next season or two. They still have a lot of young guys with great talent, but they still got to work together and become a better team. Maybe get another veteran on the team who can help lead those young players, and then, maybe they can beat a team like Chicago one day. But I think Chicago just has too many people on the bench and just too many people on the starting five that is just overall better. And I think they'll give them a good game, but I'd say 4-2 Chicago.
I agree, because Chicago, even without Derrick, if Derrick Rose goes down with an injury right now, they still have Jimmy Butler stepping up, having an all-star season. Pau Gasol is having one of the best seasons he's had in a long time. And I feel like their depth is going to beat Milwaukee.
All right, on to the next game.
Do you want to go? In the Western Conference, we have Golden State against Phoenix.
Now, that's going to be a good game. Sounds kind of like a guard shootout to me. Both teams loaded with guards. I don't know. Golden State's looking too good to fall to Phoenix right now.
I think Golden State would just overpower them. They're too fast. They have too many guys that can just do too many things. Draymond Green stepping up this season, putting up crazy numbers. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry doing what they always do, knocking down threes. But Phoenix will still give them a game because Phoenix still has 4 guards that are just incredible.
All right, next game.
We got Portland against San Antonio.
Now, that will be a good game. In my opinion, I'm going to have to go with Portland just because San Antonio they're just getting so old, and they've had the past 3 seasons so far in the playoffs, I don't think they can keep going.
I would have to pick San Antonio just because of their age and maturity. Portland's still a young team. Damian Lillard, he's very talented, but he's not. Tony Parker can just do things differently than him. He can control offense differently.
Very true.
LaMarcus Aldridge, him and Tim Duncan, they're basically the same people, but Tim Duncan's just got more moves to me. He knows the game better.
That's a very good point, but I still say I'd give it to Portland 4-3.
I'd give it to San Antonio 4-3.
All right, next game.
We have Memphis against Los Angeles Clippers.
Now, I'd say that'd be a good game. It's bigs,
that's tough.
Both teams. Chris Paul playing great. It's tough, but I'm going to give it to the Grizzlies. They were playing phenomenally lately.
I have to give it to the
Marc
Grizzlies.
Gasol is playing like an MVP lately. Everyone on that team is doing great.
I gotta give it to the Grizzlies. Mike Conley's doing what he always does. Marc Gasol's putting up MVP numbers. Zach Randolph. And they're fighting for boards. And they just picked up Jeff Green, who's a top-notch scorer.
Grizzlies will be hard to beat. Just watch out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Next game.
We have the Rockets against Dallas.
Ooh, that will be a great game. The Rockets just picking up Josh Smith, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Great addition to their team. He's been doing amazing down there. And, of course, they got James Harden, Dwight Howard. They always will give you good numbers.
James Harden's MVP season this year. His numbers are just out of this world.
He's not just scoring this year. He's getting assists. He's out there playing like a real team player.
And Dallas, I don't think they have anybody to cover him. I don't think they have anybody to cover Dwight Howard down there. He's just too big. Nobody can stop him.
Dallas does have a great team now, though, with the addition of Rondo. They have Monta Ellis still. Of course, they have
Parsons.
They have Chandler Parsons at the small forward. They have the best starting 5, but I don't think their bench is enough.
I don't think they have the depth to beat them.
So, I gotta give it to Houston 4-3.
I gotta give it the same 4-3 Houston.
All right, next game.
Well, we don't have another game, but we have the people who are right on the edge.
So in the West right now, the Pelicans and
the
Thunder are the 2 teams closest out on the edge of making it into the playoffs.
Well,
of the 2, which one has the best shot to get into the playoffs?
I think the Thunder got it because they just got Kevin Durant back. Everybody's healthy now.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be playing their hearts out because that's just the Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. They're winners. They just know how to win. They've got there every year.
I don't know. I gotta say the best chance right now has got to be the Pelicans. The way Anthony Davis has been playing is just he's a monster. He's going for MVP. And if not this year, in one of the years to come, he would definitely be an MVP. He's crazy good. I think he can lead the Pelicans to the playoffs. And the Eastern Conference, Charlotte and Detroit are the closest. Which do you think of those two would make it?
I think Detroit has a much better team than 10th. I think Andre Drummond and Greg
I agree.
Monroe are just they're just phenomenal players. They're phenomenal athletes. They're just big guys down there getting big rebounds.
I completely agree.
Brandon Jennings is stepping up his game this year. He's turning into a real point guard this year.
Yeah, I got it. Out of the two, I have to say it has to be Detroit because just Charlotte's not proving anything to me that they're a good enough team. Yeah, they got Al Jefferson, but
Kemba Walker's on there.
He's
great
great,
player.
but it's Lance Stephenson. But I just gotta go Detroit. They're playing amazing. They're not playing how they actually are. Their record does not show how they are, but just watch out for them by the end of the season. They'll definitely be in the playoffs.
They'll be in the playoffs.
Welcome back to the Mike and Rike Show. It's time for our special guest. This week we're calling in my boy De'Aaron Hodges all the way from Madison Square Garden. And we're going to ask him how he feels about J.R. Smith being traded to the Cavs, and will he help the Cavs be a better team overall?
Hello?
Hey, De'Aaron. So, our question for you is, first, it's a two-part question. How do you feel about J.R. Smith being traded to the Cavs?
Well, I feel that he's just a pain in the ass, to be honest, because he does so much stuff off the court. He's so much of a distraction. So, and I'm a Knicks fan, so I really don't care. I'm glad that they traded him, finally got rid of some money, and yeah, so I really don't. I'm glad that the Knicks got rid of him, and I hope he can do better on the Cavs. I could never wish bad on anybody, but sometimes you just gotta let him go, and I'm glad the Knicks decided to do that.
Okay. Do you think that he would be able to make the Cavs a championship contending team, or do you think he's just gonna hurt the team?
No, I don't think he can make the Cavs a championship contender. He'll make he's pretty much the same as Dion Waiters, but I mean, I don't really think he can make him a championship contender. But he's a nice piece when he's not a distraction on and off the court. But no, I don't think he makes him a championship contender.
Okay, well, thank you, De'Aaron.
All right, you're welcome, man.
All right.
All right.
Well, you heard it.
Right here from De'Aaron Hodges.
Madison Square Garden.